The Rowan family was once the heart of the town, wealthy, respected, and proud. But since 1953, something terrible happened. The daughters of the family vanished without a trace. Doors locked from the inside, whispered secrets, and an estate frozen in time. No one has seen them since. What happened behind those walls remains one of the darkest mysteries, whispered only in hushed tones. Long before their name became a whisper in the dark, the Rowans were royalty in all but title. They lived in a towering brick mansion on Elm Street. 3 floors, 12 rooms, hand-carved banisters and chandeliers imported from Italy. In the early 1900s, Edwin Rowan built his fortune through steel and shipping, and by the 1930s, his family was the most powerful in the county. They were admired, envied, and talked about, not just for their wealth, but for their beauty. Especially the 3 Rowan daughters, Eleanor, Margaret, and Alice. Photographs of the time show them in lace dresses on the manor's balcony, waving at reporters with porcelain smiles. The Rowans threw lavish parties, hosted garden galas, donated to every church, library, and school. But no one ever seemed to get too close. And behind the charm and champagne, something colder lurked in the house on Elm Street, something that watched and waited. It happened on a rainy morning in September 1953. The townspeople still talk about the way the clouds hung low over Elm Street, pressing against the mansion like they were trying to bury it. Inside the Rowan estate, the family's 3 daughters, Eleanor, 19, Margaret, 17, and Alice, just 14, vanished without a trace. There was no sign of forced entry. No broken windows, no muddy footprints, no ransom note. Their beds were made, dresses still hung in the wardrobe, and breakfast sat untouched on the dining room table. Their mother, Evelyn Rowan, was found in a rocking chair, whispering the girls' names over and over, completely unresponsive. The police combed the estate. Dogs searched the grounds. Divers were sent into the pond behind the house. Nothing. It was as if the girls had simply evaporated. And the strangest part? All 3 were seen the night before, smiling, as if they knew they'd never be seen again. The disappearance of the Rowan daughters shattered the town's sense of safety. For decades, the Rowans had been pillars of wealth and elegance, untouchable. But now, with 3 girls gone in a single night, fear seeped into every household. Children were kept indoors. Locks were changed. Curtains drawn. And everywhere you went, people whispered the same question. What really happened inside that house? The police investigation dragged on, but led nowhere. Officers came and went, theories fizzled, and eventually the case was marked unresolved. Officially, they called it a disappearance. Unofficially, everyone had a theory. Some said the girls ran away. Others blamed a jealous suitor, or even their own parents. But darker rumors spread too. Curses, seances, forbidden rituals in the garden maze. And then came the silence. The Rowans stopped speaking publicly. The manor gates rusted shut. And one by one, people stopped asking questions, afraid of what the answers might be. After the disappearance, the Rowan estate became a place frozen in time. Those who entered, a handful of relatives, hired help, and later preservationists, all said the same thing. The house didn't feel empty. It felt paused. Breakfast dishes remained in the dining room, covered in a soft layer of dust. A record player in the parlor sat mid-spin, needle cracked. One bedroom had curtains drawn so tightly the air inside still smelled faintly of perfume. But what unsettled visitors most were the locked doors. Entire wings of the house were sealed. No one knew why. The master bedroom, the third-floor nursery, the cellar beneath the east wing, all locked, some with boards nailed across. The keys were missing. The remaining Rowans refused to discuss them. And the halls? Always quiet. Until they weren't. Some claimed they heard footsteps upstairs, or laughter behind doors that hadn't been opened in 50 years. In 2004, during a routine inspection for historic preservation, a worker discovered a hidden compartment behind a loose panel in the fireplace of the Rowan girls' shared bedroom. Inside was a weathered leather-bound diary, initials AR carved faintly into the cover. It belonged to Alice Rowan, the youngest daughter. The entries began innocently: descriptions of school dances, sketches of her sisters, notes about garden walks and favorite songs. But as the pages turned, the tone shifted. Alice wrote of arguments between their parents, strange visitors arriving late at night, and long periods of silence during which the girls were not allowed to leave their rooms. One entry simply read, "She said we weren't safe anymore, that he broke the rules. Margaret is afraid of the mirrors now." The final page was written the night before they vanished. It ended mid-sentence. "We've decided tonight's the night. If it's real, we'll finally be free." In 2011, during a structural survey of the Rowan estate, a contractor noticed an uneven echo behind the west wall of the library. After careful dismantling of a built-in bookshelf, workers uncovered a narrow doorway, completely sealed from the inside, with no hinges, no handle. Behind it lay a hidden chamber, untouched for nearly 60 years. The room was small, windowless, and lined with faded wallpaper covered in childlike drawings. 3 beds, child-sized, were neatly made. A broken locket lay on the floor beside a tattered copy of Little Women. There were clothes hanging in a small wardrobe, dresses in the same styles the girls were last seen wearing. And yet, there were no signs of struggle. No remains. No notes. Just a room prepared for someone who never returned, or never left the way they came. The only clue: a sentence scratched into the wall, barely visible in the low light. "We stayed quiet, just like she told us." Long before the girls vanished, whispers followed the Rowan family, not just about their wealth, but about how they kept it. According to town folklore, Edwin Rowan wasn't just a businessman, he was a man who made deals. The kind written in blood, not ink. Old journals from church elders mention a bargain struck beneath the black moon, involving the Rowan name and an unnamed figure described only as the gentleman without a face. Some claimed he visited once every generation. Others believed the Rowans summoned him during times of crisis, offering something precious in exchange for continued prosperity. After the daughters disappeared, these stories surged. Townspeople recalled seeing strange lights in the manor's upper windows, or hearing music when no one lived there. And always, the same phrase returned, found etched beneath a pew in the old chapel: 3 daughters for 30 years of peace. Today, the Rowan estate still stands on Elm Street, its red brick walls chipped by time, its windows clouded with dust. The iron gates remain shut, sealed by order of the county after multiple break-ins and unexplained events. No one lives there. No one dares. Inside, the furniture is still in place. The girls' bedroom sits undisturbed, 3 dresses laid out as if they were about to get dressed for school. The piano in the parlor holds a single cracked key, the only one that still plays. And upstairs, in the locked nursery, faint music has been reported on stormy nights, though the power was disconnected decades ago. Investigators, ghost hunters, and skeptics have come and gone. But none have stayed long. Something in that house watches, waits. Whatever deal was made, whatever darkness the Rowans invited in, it's still there. Still listening. And the daughters? They never left. Not really.